It's Fat Albert. Well, actually, my real name is Kanan Thompson, but I play Fat Albert in the live-action film based on Bill Cosby's hit show. My buddies and I love adventure, but we also love a good challenge. That's why we love the NASA SCI Files. If you want an adventure in math, science, and technology, check in on the Treehouse Detectives, hot on the trail with their latest case on this exciting episode of the NASA SCI Files.
Be sure to look for the answers to the following questions. Why is it important to classify animals? Which phylum of invertebrates is most common? What are the 5 classes of vertebrates? When you see this icon, the answer is near. What an awesome ride. Riding across the water at top speeds, checking out nature, and the wildlife was amazing. Right, amazing. Come on, Catherine. That has to rank up there as one of the coolest. You're right. It was cool, but what? I've been thinking. Remember when we were out on the boat and we stopped to examine some of the plant life under the water? Well, I turned around to see this bird fall from the sky. I followed it down only to see another bird flailing around in the water, obviously hurt. I mentioned it to our guide, and he said that on a preserve, they don't usually rescue or help animals under stress from natural causes. There are no traps or anything there, so the bird probably had been attacked by a predator, but had gotten away. They don't interfere. I don't know. It just seems like there's something that we can do to help. Well, we are talking about nature. I'm not sure we can help every animal. True, but I wonder what we can do. Kelly might be able to help. She's the expert on nature and animals. She probably doesn't have time. I think she's working on some kind of project. I have an idea, but it's going to require everyone's help and Jacob's backyard. Jacob might be hard to convince. I don't know. Beneath his harsh exterior lies a truly compassionate nature lover. Really? Okay, so I'm exaggerating, but I'm sure I'll help. Let's contact the others.
I don't know how you expect me to help you with the wildlife badge research with all this prime real estate just waiting to be developed.
Tony, if we build houses everywhere there are forests, there won't be any wildlife.
Of course, you're right. By the way, how's the research coming along?
I've taken some pictures of our state bird, and I've identified some poisonous plants. But I still have a lot of work to do.
Well, I hope you have some extra time on your hands.
What's up?
I just got an email from Catherine. She said she saw an injured animal in the Everglades, and she and Bianca want to create their own backyard habitat.
Sounds cool. Whose backyard?
They've talked to Jacob, and he's agreed to use his backyard. I think he's hoping he doesn't have to cut the grass anymore.
At least he's doing what he can to help.
Good point. But the question is, what can we do? They're short in Florida and don't know where to begin.
I'm not sure, but maybe my research for my wildlife badge can help them.
Great idea. Let's start with the problem board.
Okay, what do we know?
We know that Catherine saw an injured animal in distress.
And of course we know that animals are a part of the animal kingdom.
And we also know that there are many different types of animals. So what do we need to know?
I think we need to start with the basics. If we're going to make a habitat for animals, we should learn how to classify and identify them.
And which ones we need to protect.
So where should we go?
Didn't you go on a camping trip to Busch Gardens with your Girl Scout troop?
Right. They take care of some amazing animals there. I'm sure they'll help us. I'll email my troop leader.
Excellent idea. And don't forget, we have to email Dr. D, Bianca and Catherine, and download a Get Up and Go sheet. You can get your own Get Up and Go sheet at the SCI Files website.
It may take a lot of hard work, but it's good to help. I'm here at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia, to talk with their zoological manager, Mr. Rob Yorty. He actually works with wolves here at the park, so it should be very exciting.
The wolves are very fascinating creatures, but remember, no cameras, backpacks, and also don't look them in the eye so we won't distract them.
No problem. They look like dogs.
Well, that's because they're in the same phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, class Mammalia, order Carnivora, and family Canidae as dogs are.
Could you repeat that?
Well, actually, in your email, you requested information on how to classify animals, and that is the classification for wolves. But maybe we should start at the beginning.
That sounds like a good idea. We know that there are two main kingdoms, plants and animals, but we need to learn more about how animals are classified.
Just like for plants, scientists use a classification system for animals. The animal kingdom is divided into smaller groups. The largest group within a kingdom is a phylum. Phyla are divided into classes. Classes are divided into smaller and smaller groups. The smallest group is the species.
Why is it important to classify animals?
By classifying animals, we can give each organism a unique, scientifically accepted name, which avoids confusion.
Why can't you just call a dog a dog?
Well, an animal's common name can vary within languages, also within regions, even in the same country. Here in the U.S., the mountain lion is also called the panther, the cougar, or the puma. It's known as the cat of many names.
So how do animals get their names?
Well, scientists look at specific characteristics of each organism to divide them into groups. The animal kingdom is divided into two specific groups, vertebrates and invertebrates.
How are they different?
Vertebrates are animals with a backbone or spinal column. Invertebrates are not.
I have a backbone. I must be a vertebrate.
Yes, you are. About 5% of animals are vertebrates and are categorized into classes according to their traits. Vertebrates include fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals.
Wow, only 5%? Does that mean the other 95% are invertebrate?
That's correct. The invertebrate phyla consists of many different species of worms, insects, sponges, and even microscopic organisms.
If I were to find an animal in my backyard that I didn't recognize, how could I identify it?
Well, one way that scientists use to identify an animal is through the use of a dichotomous key.
Dichotomous key? I'm not sure I understand.
Dichotomous means separated into two parts. Dichotomous key is a method used to identify an object by giving a specific set of choices all the way down to the object's name, or in this case, an animal.
How does it work?
You start out with two characteristics. After choosing the first characteristic, you are given two more to choose from. You keep making choices until you classify the animal.
If you're looking at an animal, the first set of characteristics would be backbone or no backbone. And if it has a backbone, then you would keep looking at other characteristics to narrow it down.
Exactly. Like the gray wolf, you would start out with backbone or no backbone. You would choose backbone. The next set of choices would be fur or feathers. You would choose fur. Go down to the next set would be long canine teeth or short canine teeth. You would choose long canine teeth and eventually get down to the gray wolf classification.
They're really beautiful.
The gray wolf used to be endangered in the United States due to overhunting and the loss of habitat, but through conservation efforts it is now considered threatened. It is the largest of the canid species and has the largest range of any land mammal with the exception of humans. They are pack hunters and usually feed on mammals larger than themselves, including caribou, elk, and deer. They also have a very distinctive howl.
You're lucky to have such cool animals here at the park.
We're thrilled, and Busch Gardens Williamsburg is committed to the conservation of all animals. We have lots of different animals in our park to help teach our guests about their habitats, behaviors, the animal status in the wild, and what needs to be done to help the environment.
Seeing an animal up close and personal really does make a difference.
Just wait till you see the show.
Hi, Kaylee. What a cool vessel.
Yes, it is.
It's like the kind used to collect bioluminescent organisms.
You sure can learn a lot about organisms in this glowing exhibit.
Very funny, Dr. D. I was surprised to learn that organisms can give off light by mixing chemicals in their own body, just like mixing chemicals in this glow stick.
Right, and organisms that make themselves glow are called bioluminescent.
Did you know that 90% of mid-ocean organisms are bioluminescent? They use their light to blind their predators, attract prey, and find a mate.
Wow, you really know your stuff.
In the ocean, you'll find jellyfish, sea cucumbers, shrimp, squid, and octopus that glow. And on land, you'll find fireflies, glowworms, snails, and click beetles.
So far you've mentioned only invertebrate animals.
Right. We learned that the animal kingdom is divided into vertebrates and invertebrates. Mr. Yorty at Busch Gardens told us that most of the animals are invertebrates.
Very good. The animal kingdom has over 30 major groups or phyla. One of these includes all of the vertebrates, and there are 8 others that include a majority of the invertebrates. Do you know which of the invertebrates are the most common?
I'm pretty sure insects are the most common.
Insects, including fireflies, are part of the phylum known as Arthropoda. There are more than 1 million arthropod species, and most of them are insects.
Does Arthropoda also include crabs and spiders?
Yes, it does, along with bioluminescent shrimp.
Are snails arthropods?
No. Arthropods have a hardened exoskeleton, which you might confuse with a snail's shell. Arthropods also have jointed appendages like wings, legs, or antennas.
So snails must be grouped with other shelled animals like clams.
Very good. Clams, mussels, and snails, along with octopus and squid, are all part of mollusca. Mollusks are soft-bodied. In fact, mollusca comes from the Latin word for soft.
Jellyfish are soft. Are they also part of mollusca?
Unfortunately, classification is a little more complicated than just hard and soft. Jellyfish, along with corals, are part of Cnidaria. These animals have tentacles and stinging cells.
Cnidaria. That's strange to say.
How about Nematoda?
That sounds like it has to do with the frogs.
Nematoda actually refers to roundworms, which have a tube-like body. Earthworms are also tube-like, but they belong to the phylum Annelida, which are segmented animals.
Worms sure have some complicated names.
Just wait, there's more. Platyhelminthia, which is Latin for flatworm, are the simplest animals that have organ systems.
And I thought sea cucumber was a strange name.
Oh, sea cucumbers are from the Echinodermata phylum, along with sand dollars and starfish. These spiny-skinned animals have suction cup feet. The next phylum is very simple.
Finally, a simple name.
No, the name is not simple, but the animals are. Sponges are part of the Porifera phylum. These primitive animals have no symmetry, tissues, or organs.
Wow, classifying animals is harder than I thought. I hope we fare better with our backyard habitat.
Have you heard from the others?
Bianca and Catherine are researching vertebrates. They made a contact at NASA Kennedy Space Center, so they should have some excellent data.
True. I'm going out of town, but if I can help, send me an email.
Catherine and I are meeting with Ms. Rebecca Smith, a wildlife ecologist at NASA Kennedy Space Center. Part of her job is to monitor and minimize the effects of the space program on the environment, habitat, and wildlife. Plus, she knows all about vertebrates. Maybe we'll get to see some other than ourselves.
Reach around and touch the middle of your back. What do you feel?
I feel my backbone.
Exactly. All vertebrates have an endoskeleton, which is an internal skeleton with a backbone. They have small bones called vertebrae. They typically consist of a bony arch that includes